It is. I don't know why. I don't even know what it is. Chapter 3, Section 2. This is finding the parts. Okay? This is not difficult. The best part about this section, or this chapter, is that you're going to use this stuff every day. Finding the part. Okay? How would you describe part to someone who doesn't know what the word means? If I gave you a 5-year-old kid and they're like, what does part mean? What would you say to them? I mean, I'm not talking about the part where you go to the store and you say, I need a part for my truck. Okay? Like I need a new, I don't know, what do you buy, new hose for my truck? Not that type of part. But what do you talk
Like
about when you talk about part of something?
Separation.
Separation?
Like a part.
Like a part. But they say, well, what's a part? A piece of
Something.
the whole thing, right? It's a section of the whole thing. Okay? So basically, when we find the part today, we're looking for a section of the whole thing. Okay? Or a portion. Or, like, a description would be, you don't eat the whole pan of brownies, you eat a part of the brownie. Okay? You might eat half of it. You might eat, you know, a fourth of it, but you eat a piece of it. Okay? It's a part. Now, finding that part. It's a very simple formula. Okay, that we're going to use in business math. We're going to use part equals base times rate. Okay, part equals base times rate. Okay, you use this formula every single day. You take a base number, you multiply it by a rate, and you get a part every single day when you do something. What is it? Well, maybe not every single day, but at least 5 times a week. You take a part, you multiply it by a rate, and you take a base, a number, you multiply it by a rate, you get a part. You might not do it, but something does it for you. You ever go to the store and buy anything?
Mm-hmm.
When you put your item on the counter and you pay what the sticker price says?
No.
What do you pay?
Cool.
Pay a little bit more. What is that called? That little bit more. That little part more. Tax. Maybe you pay taxes every single time you buy something, unless you're going to the drive-thru. You don't have to pay tax, right? But pretty much, if you buy something for 99 cents, you're going to end up paying what? $1.05, $1.06, something like that. Okay? Part. Tax. Okay? You're going to take your base price, you're going to multiply it by what is the rate here in Tuscarawas County. We know the tax rate? 6.5%. 6.5%. You take that whole part, whatever it is you're buying, you multiply it by 0.065, and you get your tax amount. Okay, not your total amount, just the tax. So let's say, who bought something today? You bought something? What did you buy? You bought a Monster. Oh, those are so good for you. Okay, how much is a Monster? Exactly. Did you pay $1.78? The sticker said $1.78. Okay, so you took $1.78, okay, your base, the sticker price, okay, for your Monster, and you paid 6.5%, because I'm guessing you bought it in Tuscarawas County. Okay, so you paid 6.5%, and I bet your total bill, okay, was whatever that part is plus the $1.78. Well, somebody take $1.78 and multiply it by 6.5%. You can use a calculator if you have one. What'd you get? Take 1.78 times 6.5%. Well, percent sign's still there. If you want to change this percent to a decimal, you're going to take 1.78 times 0.065.
Yeah, because some calculators don't have percent.
Yeah, if you don't have a percent key, then that's fine. Now what do you get? Alexa? Point what? So 0.115, huh? What does that round to? If you're thinking of cents, dollars and cents? Yeah.
It's like $1.
0.12, so you're paying 12 cents more. Okay? So I bet you pay 12 cents for tax. So what did you pay total for your monster? $1.78 plus 12 cents. So I'm guessing you paid $1.90 for your monster. $2 for a monster. Okay. Part. The little piece. Now, when is another time you might use part? You use it every day for sales tax. When's another time that it matters? Well, let me give you a hint when it's really going to matter to you. For some of you, not everybody. But suppose that I am a teacher, so this formula won't matter for me as much. But why does it matter to a car salesman? My father-in-law's a car salesman. Why does it matter to him?
He has to know how much he's going to be making it.
Yeah, what's that called?
Profit. Well,
What? Commission. Commission. Okay? You look at he makes commission off of what he sells, right? If he sells a $50,000 truck, he's pretty jacked up and excited because guess what? He makes a percentage or commission off that, right? Now it depends. I don't know what the commission is, but it depends. He could sell 5 $2,000 cars and still not make as much as he does on that one big $50,000 truck sale, right? Or that Lincoln Navigator that he sells, or something that he sells, right? Because he makes a commission. Okay? How many of you know a store where all their employees make commission? Can you think of one off the top of your head? And they didn't tell you, but you know which store that is. What store have you ever walked into where the employees make commission? Where whatever you sell, whatever you buy, they make a portion off of it. Anybody think of one of those? Huh? Flea market? Well, they make all the money. They're not gonna make a commission off of it.
My friend works at like a Napa store.
A Napa store?
Like,
Does he make commission?
I don't know, I think so.
Probably not.
Or like he's their salesman.
Maybe their salesmen, mega salesmen do.
Yeah, like
How many of you have ever tried to buy a TV or a
Sears.
Sears? That's the first thing that comes to my mind. You walk in the lawn and garden department and start sitting on a tractor.
They're on you.
Who comes and surrounds you? All these salesmen, right? They're everywhere. Okay, they're like, can I help you with something? Are you just looking today? Right? You can think of that right away when you think of a store that makes commission. They sell a lawn and garden tractor. They make a portion of that. You can bet your money on it. Okay? How many of you have ever been to a store where they don't make commission? Think of Walmart. How many aisles you pretty much have to hunt and set up a stand in order to find somebody that works there, right? To ask them a stinking question. They don't make commission, obviously, because they don't care what you buy, right? They're just working. And they don't want to answer any questions, okay? I'm just showing an example. It's not always like that, okay? Walmart, don't sue me for this video. But it's not always like that, not just Walmart, but, you're talking about all these different stores that people don't make commission because you can't find a stinking person in the whole store to ask a question. And you're getting ticked off, you're like, I'm just not going to buy anything, you leave. And they don't care because they're not losing any money. They still get their paycheck. But that person who makes commission in Sears and sells a tractor, they're pretty pumped because they get a portion of what they sell. I think Home Depot might. I'm not sure, but I know. I don't know. Have you ever been to a clothing store where they make commission? Macy's makes a commission. What about, does anybody remember the Buckle?
Yeah.
It used to be at the Newtown Mall, the Buckle, you walk in and it was like, the minute you set foot in that, you had like 15 people. Hi, can I help you? Do you want me to get you a different size? What are you looking for today? Would you like to buy a pair of shoes?
Yeah, they have buckles.
Yeah, they made commission. It was absolutely terrible.
Belton Mall.
Which one it is? It's in the mall, and it seems like it's just like that. It's like as
soon as you go like this, like Radio Shack. Yes. It's terrible, okay? Well, why would that matter to them? Because they use this formula. They take however much you buy, okay, would be their base, whatever you buy. If you buy a $1,000 washer, okay, at Sears, they're making a commission, whatever percent, 2% off of that, or whatever they make bank off of that, and the more they sell, the higher price they sell. That's why they're always trying to upsell. That's why they care, okay? Hence the value, if you ever own your own business, of giving your employees a little bit of what you sell, commission. Because what happens as soon as you give them a little bit of what you sell, they're going to try to sell it for you, aren't they? Yeah. So treat your employees well, give them a portion of what you make, and all of a sudden, they're going to be working a lot harder for you. Okay? Think of the stores that make commission and the stores that don't. It's a completely different story, right? That's why incentive paid people, for instance, if you go to a large company, okay, my brother, he works for a large company, he's a salesman, he makes commission. Why would he do that? Well, because he's out there trying to sell. Because the more he sells, the more money he makes. And he can, if he makes a big sale, he makes a lot of money. Okay? Think about that if you ever own your own business. Okay, give your employees something for what they do. Now, can you think of anything else?
A realtor?
A realtor. They make a percentage. Yep, realtors do.
Like,
Insurance. Why do you think the insurance companies, you get home insurance, but then they're like, well, if you get auto and life and whatever other kind of insurance you get, okay, they keep trying to add because the higher your bill, the more money they make. Okay? Telemarketers, they make commission. You sell it, you make something. Telemarketers, heck yeah. What other besides commission? So we talked about tax, commission, what else does it matter? I can think of one thing that I use all the time. Can you think of any others where...
when my mom buys a pizza, how many pieces I'm going to get for everybody else? So.
Do you say I get 75% of the pizza? Maybe, but that you don't use that as often as what you use this other one for.
Pizza roll.
How many of you enjoy paying less for something than what it is actually
Sale.
the original price? Right. Sale, right? A 30% off sale. Okay, how many of you get those coupons in the mail from Kohl's? Probably not, because they don't have. Okay, yeah, your mom, she peels that sticker and it says 30, she's like, yes, I'm going shopping! That's what I do. Okay, I get a 30% Kohl's coupon, I'm going shopping at Kohl's. I get really excited. You're laughing because your mom does the same thing. I'm sure she does. I don't go unless I get a 30. Okay, well, that's because I take my whole bill at the end. Okay, suppose I go and I spend $500. I'd never spend $500, but let's say I go and I spend $98. Okay, I buy a pair of shoes, I buy some clothes, I buy something for my kids, buy some picture frames. I have $98 worth of stuff. Okay, well then I get on that 30% off coupon. How much am I getting off of that $98? It's pretty exciting because they show it all to you on that receipt. 30% off.
Yeah.
Times 0.3, Alexa. 98 times 0.3. What is it?
$29.
$29 off. So my $100 bill just went down $29. That's really exciting too. I only go shopping when I get 30. My husband's always like, oh, let it not be a 30 because then she's not shopping. What's that? Yes, she is. He makes fun of me, but I get really excited. Any questions about part base rate? One thing you do need to know is that if you see part base rate in a word problem, a lot of times it's going to be set off with the word of is. Okay? Where is, this is your rate, this is your base, and this is your part. So, for example, 15% of 100 is 15. That makes sense? Look for these set-off words, of and is. Okay? Those are going to tell you where they go in the problem. Okay? A lot of times the of and is to set it off. Any questions? That's all I have for today. The calculations aren't that hard, but understanding what they stand for is the key today. You have on page 80 and 81, 1 through 25, I want you to skip number 17 and 18.
What about our home?
Oh, and let's grade your homework real quick.